Hi, I'm Kendall Phillips. This is a reading from my new novel, No One Can Save Us, from Nightmare Press. The news anchor's tone changed. We are receiving confirmation from some of the foreign correspondents on the ground in Saigon City that the entity known as Adam has arrived and has entered the facility. We've not received confirmation from any official sources, but we are going to, we are waiting. Nope. We are going to cut away to Timothy Kyle from ITN, who is on the scene now. I believe we have that feed in just yes, we're going live to Timothy Kyle just outside the gates of the facility where we believe or understand that Sarah Wayland has been housed in detention for the past 19 days. The cut went slightly askew view of a gangly white man in a pale blue anorak, awkwardly holding a microphone while speaking inaudibly to someone behind the camera. The audio cut in. Are we live? Yes. And we're through to the US, is that right? Another moment of unsteadiness with the camera, then the angle righted itself, and the gangly man nodded awkwardly before shifting to a more professional demeanor. Timothy Kyle, ITN News, here on the scene of another confrontation between the reclusive regime of the Republic of Saigon and the super-powered human known simply as Adam. For the past 19 days, reporter Sarah Wayland has been held in military facility, and despite many requests, neither we at ITN nor any of our Confederates have been able to communicate with Ms. Wayland. But now, Ms. Wayland's husband has arrived. Only moments ago, he passed through the outer perimeter, crumpling these massive iron gates with merely a gesture of his hand. Jerkily, the camera swung over to show two heavy metal gates ripped from their hinges and resembling wadded pieces of paper, then back to the reporter. The correspondent continued. We are not allowed into the interior of the building, but understand from confidential sources that Adam has asked to see Ms. Wayland and that the request has been granted. I must tell you that there is a substantial military presence, though we are under strict orders not to film any of the military vehicles or aircraft circling the building. It appears the government of Saigon is expecting another conflict with the American superhero, and they are prepared. The shot returned to the awkward scrambling of the American news anchor as he juggled the live feed, incoming reports, and a former general brought in as an expert commentator. We have just now received a report of a major explosion inside the compound in Saigon City. These reports are not confirmed, but we are going now live back to Timothy Kyle from ITN News. Timothy, can you hear me? Yes, Matthew, I can hear you. We have just felt a major explosion from within the compound. The streets shook, and we can see actual ruptures in the pavement. Water is bursting up from city pipes, so this was a major shockwave that has done real damage. Timothy, can you turn the camera to show us the damage? No, Matthew, we are still under strict orders. I can say that the military units we've been seeing all day are starting to cluster here outside the facility. I suspect we will be ushered away by the military police any second now. Do we know the source of the explosion? Was this from Adam or from the Saigon military? Matthew, I don't know, as we have not been allowed inside the facility, but I can say that just before we felt the shockwave, we did see a wave of that strange color associated with Adam flow out from the building. So it appears the confrontation we have been anticipating since the hostage crisis began is underway in earnest. We should explain. Wait, look. The gangly reporter gestured up into the sky above the compound, but the camera remained steadily on him. Oh, for Christ's sake, man, just film it. They've got their hands full with him. They aren't going to be coming after us. He punctuated his point by stabbing his finger up toward the sky above the compound. With seeming reluctance, the camera shifted position, tilting up above the compound. There, some 100 feet or more above the gray facade of the building, floated Adam, oddly colored power flaring from his body. In his left arm, he cradled the unconscious figure of Sarah Wayland. As the camera continued unsteadily focusing on the figures floating just above the compound, the indescribable color became more intense, and with a simple wave of Adam's right hand, the gray building burst inward, imploding amid a cloud of dust and debris. The sudden burst sent the cameraman stumbling backward, and the view rocked unsteadily before refocusing on the correspondent. Steady yourself, Damon, the reporter said, with arms stretched out to help his unsteady partner. Stepping back into the center of the shot, he again looked up. Behind him, several dozen heavily armed soldiers came scrambling out of the crumbled gate to take positions away from the decimated building. We have just witnessed an awesome display of... Oh my. The odd color filling the screen intensified, and with one last gasp, Timothy Kyle exploded, filling the camera with blood, gore, and fragments of his bones. Behind him, the dozen soldiers were also bursting, as if someone had blown a balloon full of too much air. The camera once again moved back, Unsteadily, and for an instant, the frame focused back onto Adam, floating impassively above the smoking compound. His right hand reached out into the air and clenched into a fist. With this, the camera abruptly dropped as chunks of flesh and what must have been the cameraman fell to the ground to rest in front of the camera's gaze. In the distance, entire blocks of buildings could be seen collapsing, cars bursting into flames, blood flowing freely onto the once crowded streets. The screen went blank. You can get a copy of No One Can Save Us at Amazon or Nightmare Press or on my website, kendallrphillips.com.